Hello everybody, Rebus here, welcoming you to a review for the game Azure Saga Pathfinder. I was actually given this game to review, and I just recently started picking it up, playing it, trying to get through the sections of it and everything. It is a RPG, similar to like a JRPG, turn-based style. Um, the characters are really well done. I was not expecting that from more of like an indie game. I really thought the characters would like initially I saw like the chibi-ish style of the characters when they're out on the world map, and I was kind of like, wow, that's I mean, it still looked good, but I was like, wow, that's what the fighting's going to be like. But no, they're actually really well done models for the fighting. So the game is basically you're escaping from your planet, like you did something and you're shot down and crash on this alien world. The alien world is more primitive style. So if you guys remember, it was Star Ocean. It was one of the Star Ocean games. I can't remember which one it was. It was for the PS2. Kind of similar to that. Advanced technology, crash lands, and then it's kind of like they're more primitive, so you're trying to like kind of hide the fact you're from like a more advanced race. So the combat is turn-based, like I said. Each character kind of specializes in taking out certain monsters, though. Their skills and such usually tend to target like one specific type. Like the main character is good against these creatures called the Hollow. The one knight you get later on, he's very good against fighting beast, and then the droid, android, whatever, he's very good at fighting like amorphous creatures. So there are skills. There's regular combat. Basically, you'll take your turn. You'll fully take your turn. Your characters will attack, everything like that, and then the enemy will attack. So in that aspect, it is very similar to old school JRPGs. Where it does try to set itself apart is that if you are guarding against an attack, you will counterattack. Also, if you use 3 moves of the same type and close to the same mana, they will end up doing a united attack where all 3 characters will attack. And then there's also a rage, like special attack, kind of like limit breaks in FF7. So overall, the combat's kind of an interesting like mix of that. There are decisions that you have to make during the combat, and you do get like actually a wide variety of characters very early on. Before you actually finish like the tutorial section, which seems like it drags on for a while, to be honest, you'll have picked up like about 4 characters. The enemy selection, though, in each area is kind of limited. I will say that a little bit. For instance, you fight Hollow, and then you'll fight like a bigger Hollow, and then there might be like 2 or 3 smaller types of enemies. Like for instance, one might be the like rabbits or rats, and then you'll fight a different colored rat, and then like there might be like a bat. And that's kind of the whole enemies for that set. So it kind of does make it weird like that. The other thing that you're going to notice about this game is that it's kind of odd. All the cutscenes are just like the character standing, and then dialogue appears, and then it kind of like flashes over, and there's another character, and he talks, and there's dialogue pans on the screen, and then another character will talk, and they'll pop up. So it's kind of like a weird... It never feels right. Like, it feels awkward because there's no facial animations to any character. The environments are set up kind of like a square where, like, they're not like one continuously large, like, arena. You see that they're kind of like a box that you run on and you go to the next one, and then that one's like the next part, and you run onto the... So it's like kind of interconnected grids. There is... The story takes a while to ramp up. I know it's going to, and I know there's going to be more that I'm actually going to see in the game. But early on, it's just like... go to the mountains, get this ore you need to repower your ship, and then stuff starts happening in between. The game is enjoyable. There's a lot of love that went into this game. I can definitely see a lot of the character models look good. They are a little bit weird when they're doing combat because like each part that goes from a joint to a joint is like separated. So when you have like a character moving, they're not, it's like kind of this part, like if this was like their leg, it's like not attached fully, so it's like a normal human's like joints and limbs would be. It's more like it kind of swivels like completely around, so there's no like caps or like elbows or anything like that. It's kind of a weird look to it. It doesn't look natural, and I don't think that's what they were exactly going for. But other than that, the actual art style is very pretty. The environments look very pretty. The actual like characters look pretty. It's sad to say, I honestly would have, I think, liked it better if it was the chibi characters, but that's just my personal opinion on it. That's nothing to knock the game. Sound effects, the game sounds pretty good. I mean, I have a hard time with like sound in general in games, like unless it has like a really award-winning score, like games like Blaze Blue, games like Chrono Trigger, like those are synonymous with like great soundtracks you remember. But overall it does actually a good job of, you know, getting the sound. I would have to say my final thoughts on this, like for this first impression, obviously, like if you guys would like, I can do a more in-depth once I actually beat the game, which could take anywhere up to like 40 hours at least. My initial thoughts on it is that the game does play well. It does scratch that itch that I feel like is missing on Steam. I know like games like Chrono Trigger and Final Fantasy are now on Steam, but this is kind of a unique take. It's kind of a different game. There's not really, it's like there's no sequels, prequels to it. It's very interesting in that aspect. The characters are kind of interesting, except everyone seems like they're kind of a douchebag to like the main character, and then the main character is kind of a douchebag to the android. So the android's the only character I actually find that I like, which kind of sucks when you're playing as the other guys, because he's actually kind of a nice person. But the game does pretty well. I believe it's only like, last I checked, I believe it's only like $10-ish. Like, it's not bad. It's a good price as of like, obviously as of this review, that's what it was coming up as. And I think it's worth it. I think if you're looking for a game that's a JRPG, a game you're going to sink a lot of time into, a game that's good, that there's fishing, there's crafting, there's all kinds of stuff in it, I would say it's going to scratch that itch. Some people will not like the actual turn-based combat. I know with the newer games, people were trying to get away from that. Like, companies were no longer doing the, oh, here's the turn-based. It was more like real-time Final Fantasy versus action combat back and forward, but there's still kind of like cooldowns, like Kingdom Hearts. This game does not. This game is very HP, mana, skills. There's no real time, like that kind of stuff, not even like the old Chrono Trigger setup. So, if you want something that's like that old style, if you miss that old style of RPGs and everything, I would definitely say this game's worth it. I know I'm going to try to finish up through it. I'm going to try to get it to the end just to see where the story goes. But this was Azure Saga Pathfinder. If you guys want to see more on the channel, definitely let me know. And definitely take a look at it. Maybe pick it up. But until next time, this is Rebus saying, I'll catch you later.